when the Beatles were depressed, thinking the group was going nowhere and this is a shitty deal and we're in a shitty dressing room, I say, where are we going, fellas? And they'd go, to the top, Johnny. And I'd say, where's that, fellas? And they'd say, to the toppermost of the poppermost. And I'd say, right. And we'd all sort of cheer up.
Nothing's going to stop us now, lads. We're going straight to the top. The toppermost of the poppermost.
Where are we going, Johnny?
Straight to the top, boys.
Oh, yeah? Where's that?
The toppermost of the poppermost.
Hey. Where are we going, fellas?
To the top.
What top?
To the very top.
Welcome to the Pocket Sandwich Theater, right here in downtown Carrollton. JPGR, the Beatles tribute band, is bringing you tonight a show on your favorite songs of the Beatles, and in addition to that, some songs from other bands that were heavily influenced by the Fabulous Four. We will also be showing you on the screen some videos just like the one you see right now. This was in September of 1964 at the Preston State Bank here in Dallas. Now, this was the Beatles fan club meeting right before the Beatles themselves came to perform in downtown Dallas. Now, these are all of the presents that they got them. The famous cowboy hat is not included in this video, but the other things that the fan club purchased them are. Be prepared to see things that specifically hit home to North Texas. And we even have interviews from two original artists of the Quarrymen. And they're going to give a message directly to you here at the Pocket Sandwich Theater. Let's get this show started with two interviews from Rod Hanton and Colin Davis.
Wait, hi folks. My name is Colin Hanton. I'm the drummer with the Quarrymen. I played with John, Paul and George back in the 50s. 56 to 59 when I left. Where I live, I'm very close to Penny Lane. It's a magnet for Beatles fans, so there's Beatles buses going up and down Penny Lane all the time. You know, it's my route to and from the shop, so very often I see the Beatles bus, and I always wave to the people on the bus, and obviously they see this grey-haired old man waving. They often wonder who the heck is it. But there you go, you just don't know who they're missing. I believe there's a production coming on at the Pocket Sandwich Theater. I wish you all well there. I'd like to give a shout out to my mate Jefferson and his band. They please George R. If you guess that's not a Beatles band. So I wish you all the best of luck anyway. I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, that's me. I'm done. Thank you.
I'm Rod Davis, and I was the banjo player in John Lennon's original Quarrymen band group, actually, in 1956-57. I don't remember seeing Paul at all on the famous day, and we were in America at a Beatles convention some years ago, and the interviewer said, right, all you guys are here. We were everybody that was on stage with John that day. Now you can tell us what really happened when John met Paul. Well, I was the first one in the row, and I said, I don't remember even seeing Paul that day. I must have gone home for me dinner, or as we say in Liverpool, gone home for me tea. And then the next guy along was Colin Hanton. He said he went home for his tea as well. And so a few weeks later, and you may or may not decide to use this, it's up to you, we were also at another beat convention, and we were asked the same question. So I said, I think I must have gone for a tea at the vital moment in rock and roll history when John and Paul first met, which got a cheap laugh from the audience. Okay, well, hi, people at the Pocket Sandwich Theater. I hope you're having a great time there, and I hope you've enjoyed my boring stories. And another thing too, happens to be a great coincidence that JPGR happens to be my all-time favorite Beatles tribute band. At least that's what it says here.
They don't wear wigs, costumes, or fake accents. They just allow you to enjoy the real music and magic of the Beatles.
Now help me welcome JPGR, the Beatles tribute band.
Here are the Beach Boys.
Round, round, year round, I get around, yeah, get around, I get around.
Are there any inspirations, like other bands that you would listen to for harmonies besides the Everly Brothers?
Beach Boys, I think, was a big influence on the harmony.
I don't know where, but she sends me there.
There was a little intercontinental rivalry, mainly Brian. His writing, I think he'd heard one of our albums and thought, I've got to do better, you know. And that was Pet Sounds, which I loved. It was like still one of my big albums, you know. So atmospheric and different.
Yes.
And yet it was the Beach Boys still, you know.
Yeah.
And we heard Pet Sounds and thought, right, we've got to do something better than that.
Yeah.
So we did Sgt. Pepper.
For a fact that they got 8-track out for the Beach Boys. But the Beach Boys are American.
You know, Brian Wilson sort of proved himself to be like a really amazing composer.
Yeah.
And I was into chords and harmonies and stuff at that time. And we ended up, it's kind of like a rivalry.
Yeah.
We'd put a song out and Brian would hear it and he'd do one, which is nice. It's like me and John. You know, you kind of try and top each other all the time.
The Beach Boys were extremely influential and groundbreaking. They made a lot of music from the 60s and 70s that will stick with us for the rest of our lives. In fact, what you're seeing is a movie called Love Actually. It was put out in the early 2000s, and it's a popular Christmas movie. And at the very end, when they're trying to make a point and tie this entire movie together, they play a Beach Boys song. Brian Wilson was one of the most gifted, multi-talented composers, performers, producers of this generation. I don't know who to say or who would have the title as the greatest American band of all time, but let me tell you this, the Beach Boys. They are one of the strongest contenders, and in my opinion, and in many others, they absolutely deserve to be at least acknowledged and considered one of the greatest American bands of our time. They certainly did challenge the Beatles, and without the Beach Boys, God only knows what they would have been without them.
Here it is. Another free Beatle ticket about to be given away on KLIF. Listen carefully. If this is your name, you have 119 seconds to call KLIF at Riverside 75245 and be a winner. To be eligible to win a free Beatle ticket from KLIF, simply send a postcard with your name and address and telephone number to Beatle Ticket, KLIF, Dallas. News you've been waiting for. KLIF covers the Beatles' Dallas visit with traffic reports before and after the Beatle concert, exclusive Beatle reports, Beatle interviews, and beginning at 3 p.m. Friday and continuing until showtime, KLIF programs will originate from Memorial Auditorium. If you want to follow the Beatles and Big D, don't take your dial off. Clip.
Lovers and friends, I still can recall.
The world sensation Beatles made Dallas one of their stops during the second U.S. concert tour. It was September 1964. These 15 Texans laid eyes on the Fab Four. Debbie Massey Lacey was vice president of the Dallas Beatles fan club. The 13-year-old met their flight at Love Field.
I remember hanging onto the chain link fence thinking, it doesn't matter how many people come, if I don't let go of this fence, I can see. And this is a picket from Love Field that was broken off that night. I didn't break it off. They were trying to keep you away from the Beatles. Yeah, they thought this was going to keep us away.
Vincent Aguilar was 10 when he saw the Beatles first set foot on Texas soil. His father had security connections at Love Field, and after the Beatles were whisked away,
hey, mind if my kids go on the plane? You know, my brothers and sisters were shoving me this way and shoving me that way, and they were grabbing everything, grabbing the drumstick, on the whiskey bottle that we found out later was supposedly Ringo's favorite whiskey. And just...
Sisters Nora Salcedo and Carol Sanchez didn't have tickets, but they had guts. They took a bus downtown and waited in the crowd outside Memorial Auditorium. This news footage shows a scene similar to Carol's story.
Just the heat and all the excitement. I paid for it and saw anything. And so the police come out and get me, and they take us in, and you're trying to rob me like they did on the lady on the video. And about that time, the doors flew open, and people just rushed everywhere, rushed like herds of cattle just rushing. And so my sister said, well, let's go see the concert.
If there was any actual film of the Dallas concert, it has long since been lost.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What did you just say? That's not correct, because guess what we found for you to watch? That's right. Here are the Beatles in Dallas, Texas in 1964.
Thank you, Pope.
Early in the morning, I'm giving you the warning. Step on my blue gray suit. Hey, little, I'm playing my fiddle. Ain't got nothing to lose. Pull over Beethoven, let's take off to the news. With those wings like a glowworm, and that's like a spinning top. Roll over Beethoven, roll over Beethoven, roll over Beethoven, take the beats to the moon.
To do, we'd like to ask you all if you do us a favor, and we'd like to ask you all to join in with the song. Will you join in? Well, okay then. All right, listen, it's dead easy. All you got to do, as we're singing the song, you've either got to sing or clap your hands, stamp your feet. That's it, everybody. Clap. Okay, that's it, yeah. Good, you got the idea. Okay then, make as much noise as you like, you know, and really let go, because it's not our place anyway. And so we'd like to carry on with the song, and it's called Can't Buy Me Love. Can't buy me love, too much for money, money can't buy me love, buy me love. Everybody down this road, can't buy me love.
than it is with the snaps. Then there's zippers up the side so that the jacket will fit tightly around the hips, keeping that straight, sleek look that it should have. And very often you'll find a zipper hidden in the arm. And
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You'll excuse the fact that I'm out of breath, but about 10 or 15 minutes ago, a tragic thing, from all indications at this point, has happened in the city of Dallas. Let me quote to you this. And you'll excuse me if I am out of breath. A bulletin, this is from the United Press, from Dallas. President Kennedy and Governor John Connally have been cut down by assassins' bullets in downtown Dallas. They were riding in an open automobile when the shots were fired. The president, his limp body carried in the arms of his wife, Jacqueline, has rushed to Parkland Hospital. And if you'll excuse me if I give some directions and we talk about what we're going to do here for the next few minutes, but Bobby, let's tape this, if you please, particularly the interview with the eyewitness people. It is being taped good. Here's a piece of copy that was rushed to me and was torn off from the United Press in Dallas. President Kennedy has been shot in Dallas, Texas.
This event left a lasting impression on the world. There have been only two other events that we can really think of that will leave people with a question, where were you when this happened? One was on December 7th of 1941, the attack on Pearl Harbor, and the other would be September 11th. Some say that the skies and the stars were not shining bright that night over Texas, and it took a while not only for Dallas, but the world to get over this shock and smile again. Some say that February 9th of 1964 had a little to do with putting a smile back on everyone's face.
Now, yesterday and today, our theater's been jammed with newspapermen and hundreds of photographers from all over the nation, and these veterans agree with me that the city never has witnessed the excitement stirred by these youngsters from Liverpool who call themselves the Beatles. Now, tonight, you're going to twice be entertained by them. Right now, and again in the second half of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
Elvis Presley not recently, God, just the other day, Elvis said he called our next guest the greatest singer in the world. He has sold more than 25 million records and has 50 gold albums. This his brand new Cinemax special is called Roy Orbison and Friends: A Black and White Night. Please welcome Roy Orbison. Thank you very much. Have a seat here. Sounded good, didn't it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, sounded very nice. Nice job.
Yeah,
gentlemen.
they do a great job.
Let's see, you're from, it's Wink, Texas, isn't it?
Wink, Texas.
Where is that located?
It's close to Kermit, Texas.
Oh, close to Kermit.
About 7 miles away.
Uh-huh. And what was life there like as a boy? Well, hell, what's it like there now?
I don't know. Urban renewal came along and there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Let's see, we would, when I was in high school, if we got to get the car and drag Main Street till about 2 in the morning, that was a big night.
Yeah.
Then other times we just listened to the sidewalks crack.
It, like 2,000, 5,000 people?
1,100.
1,100 people. And you wanted to be, originally, was it a geologist? Was that what your father was?
Yeah, my dad wanted me to study geology, and I went to the University of North Texas, but that's the only course I flunked, was geology.
Yeah, that could be a stumbling block, couldn't it?
I studied all night. We had the coffee, and it was an 8 o'clock class, and slept right through it. So I changed my major then.
Yeah, that's interesting that I guess because, correct me if I'm wrong, that must be oil country, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and what was it like when you went to Great Britain and you were touring, and I guess you had the Beatles were your opening act?
Yeah, they asked me could they close the show. I said, why? And they said, you're making all the money. And I guess I was making more than they were. And I let them close the show. But
what year was this?
63 in the spring off.
Yeah. So this was just on the verge of them exploding.
Yeah, they were really hot in England. They were as hot as you can be. And then we both got popular through the tour.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
Was it crazy? Were there crowds mobbing you?
Yeah, we had to go to the theater early in the day, about 2 o'clock, and then we couldn't leave until about 4 in the morning.
Wow. It's a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Your cable show, the Cinemax thing, turned out great, huh?
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Everybody helped me out, and
a lot of big names there.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I'm so happy you could be here tonight, and anytime you're in the area, come back because you guys sounded terrific together.
Okay, thanks.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
For the times they are changing.
He was one of them. He was our idol.
Bob was our hero.
Not an idol, but we just heard his record. As I said, we listened to his album and it really gave us a buzz, and we played it constantly over and over and over again.
I mean, I heard of Bob through John. He played the records to me, and it was just great.
I think it was freewheeling.
We love Bob Dylan.
I saw 10,000 talkers whose tongues were all broken. I saw guns and sharp swords in the hands of young children. And it's hard, and it's hard, and it's hard, and it's hard, and it's hard rains are gonna fall.
So when we met him, by that time we'd heard much more of him and we knew much more about him.
It was a great honour to meet him. We had a crazy party the night we met. I went around, I thought I got the meaning to life that night. And I went around trying to find our roadie. Mal, get a pencil and a paper. I've got it. And Mal, because we were a bit out of it, he couldn't find a pencil and paper anywhere. But eventually, in the end of the evening, he found it, and I wrote down my message for the universe, I said, now keep that in your pocket. And Mal did. The next morning, he said, hey, Paul, do you want to see that? I said, what? He said, that bit of paper. Oh, yeah. And I'd written, there are 7 levels.
Well, there was 2 men in the room, and Bob was the well-known one.
Al Aronowitz was there, he was a journalist, who was like a mate.
That was the first time for me that I'd really smoked marijuana. And I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed. It was fabulous.
Does it say record in here, George? Is it supposed to say record in the viewfinder?
Yeah, already see at the top.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
Okay, give me another reading for 100.
The thing about the Wilburys for me is if we'd have tried to plan that, or if anybody had tried to, say, let's form this band and get these people in it would never happen. It's impossible. And the thing happened completely just by magic, just by circumstances. Maybe there was a full moon that night or something like that. And it was quite a magical little thing, really.
The Beatles, meeting the Beatles, because I was a huge Beatle fan. We all were. Huge Beatle fan. And again, contrary to popular belief, there really wasn't any competition going on there, because they really had moved on and had an older, their fans were the older brothers and sisters of our fans. We had 10 and 12-year-olds, and the Beatles had, by that time, 16, 18, 20-year-olds. But meeting them was pretty special.
Tell me about that.
Well, the first person I met was Paul, and it was on a press junket to England, getting ready to promote a tour. And they had a big photo op with him and I, Monkey Meets Beatle. He invited me to a recording session at Abbey Road for this new album they were doing called Lieutenant Popper. No, Sergeant Salt. No, Sergeant Pepper. That's it. Whatever happened to that album? And I went down to Abbey Road. I'll never forget this, actually. I went down to Abbey Road, and I was expecting this insane Love In, Be In, Beatle Fest, pop, gear, fab, happening Woodstock thing. So I got all dressed up for that. I had on, double knit paisley bell bottoms and a silk brocade thing and glasses and my hair and beads and must have looked like a total idiot. And the limo picks me up, brings me to the session. He invited me to one of the sessions. And brings me up to the door. I walk in and it's empty. It's like it looked like my high school gymnasium. There was like neon lights and 3 folding chairs and a drum set, a couple amps, and the guys were sitting there all four in jeans and t-shirts just playing. And I'm like, whoa, man, where's the party? Where are the girls? and John Lennon says, do you want to hear what we're working on? And I look up and George Martin's up in the booth above with the engineer. He's wearing like this 3-piece suit. And there's a 4-track tape recorder. 4-track tape recorder. And he hits the button and the tracks of Good Morning, Good Morning come up. And I was just like, whoa, man. I better shut up and just try not to make a total fool out of myself.
You want a good life? It's not complicated. Tell the girl you love that you love her. And tell the truth to everyone whenever you can. Can I give you a hug? What? It's so good to see you. How old are you? 78. Fantastic. You made it to 78. Very strange, Mum. Go ahead. You need serious psychiatric help.
Not anymore.
These 4 young men from Liverpool did indeed change the world. They were from a humble town that was hit hard by World War II, and the town had food rationings that didn't even end until the year of 1954. They were brought up knowing what it is like to need and to want. Perhaps this is where and why their message of compassion, appreciation, peace, and love was birthed. They often searched for more in life, not in things, but in moments. This led to the Beatles and expeditions around the world, seeking for more internal and in spiritual growth. Their intention to become world famous and international sensations happened out of chance. The name they chose is an obvious reminder of their respect for those they looked up to and desired to give recognition to. In 1959, the day the music died and took the lives of one of their strongest inspirations, they chose to name themselves the Beatles. This was in honor of Buddy Holly and the Crickets. In many ways, Buddy Holly has lived on and helped touch the world and generations to come through the magic of John, Paul, George, and Ringo. there is no doubt of their ability to compose and perform music that every generation, every culture, every economic class, and the world can enjoy and even agree on. No matter who is watching this show at this very moment, we can all relate to a memory and a good feeling when these songs are heard. To this very day and this exact minute, movies, songs, plays, books, podcasts, and conversations are created about the Beatles and their beautiful creations. The Beatles' message was consistent, and the sincerity of their words can be heard and felt time and time again. Their words of wisdom, let it be, their lyrics filled with a reminder that all we need is love, and their hope we would all come together despite our differences, have helped make a positive change in our world. Even if that change is only for a matter of seconds, these 4 young men from Liverpool made a huge difference in our lives.